Okay, so it's me. Yeah, we having some interesting time here at home, and we had a great MK camp in May. It was just wonderful to see the kids coming from all over India and Bhutan and Sikkim and Nepal. So it was wonderful, and from different. Like in India, we have so many languages. And just imagine those kids were speaking different languages, but of course, the uniting language was English because they all could speak English very well. So that was our uniting language. Yeah. And along with the MKs, we also had kids who were from other faith, and because they brought their friends. So it was really good to have kids coming from other faith and just enjoying the camp. And the theme of the camp was navigating the real world issues. And yeah, and we had a lot of activities. Every activity was related to the theme, and kids really enjoyed it. And we thank God for that very successful camp. In fact, we did it after almost 20 years. Can you believe that? Because not very many missions do it. If they do it, then they just do it just for their own missionary kids, but not on the national level. And the interesting thing was the 20 years back, what we did, uh, the MK camp under the umbrella of member care, those kids are now adult and they were the facilitators. And that was the highlight, that adult MKs were the facilitators. And we could say that they are just not local facilitators, but they are third culture kids. And so it was quite successful. And even the kids asked if we are going to have it next year. So we are already planning for that one. At the same time, we also have under a member care adult MK group, which I just sent it to Paul, I think yesterday, Paul. You got it? Yeah. Okay. So every month we meet with the adult MKs, and these adult MKs are just not only working in the mission field, but majority of them are working in the corporate world. And so it's interesting to hear their perspective from the corporate world side. And some of these I don't think we should be calling them kids anymore, but these adult MKs not only live in India, but they also live in different parts of the world. So the time zone becomes a very interesting issue. And but still, almost 25 adult MKs joined or logged into the Zoom meeting where they talked about their passion and their dreams and their profession. Uh, and it was interesting to hear that many of them actually never wanted to be in the mission field. And because they saw how the missions are, how things are done, and sometimes the parents have to work in the very remote areas. They're difficult to reach those areas by even by the foot. So they never wanted to be in the mission field. So many of them ended up because of the pressure from parents or pressure from the society, Christian society, and but some stood against it, and so they went into corporate world because that's where they wanted to be, and that's where they felt that being in the corporate world we can reach out people more, people of other faith. And very clearly I remember one guy, he's a writer. He said he always saw that how parents and the parents mission were forcing young people to be in the mission field, because that's your future is. So he said he worked very hard. He academically he did so well that he doesn't have to go into the ministry, because the whole perception of the parents and the mission is, if you're not doing well academically, then you go to the mission field, then you go into the ministry. That's it's not only Indian perception, but working with the member care globally, I saw that many parents think all over the world like that. If you're not doing well, okay, let's go into the mission. So this guy was afraid that he will be sent into the mission field. So he did academically so well that today he is doing whatever his passion is of writing and journalism and IT world. He does these things. So he's very happy. Um, it's interesting to see, uh, to hear that talking, that many of them has no desire to be in the mission field. They might talk it openly, just to be afraid of the parents, if they're afraid of the parents or what other people will think. So they say, oh, yes, we will go in the mission field. But deep down in their heart, they're not willing. They had no desire. It's not that they have lost their faith or they don't want to follow Christ. They are Christian in their faith. They do evangelize, they do talk to friends about their faith, but somehow they feel that this kind of a work we can do in the corporate world also, where we don't have to raise funds, but we work and then the money comes and then we can support somebody. So it's a kind of an interesting phenomena among the adult MKs these days. So then they talked about the stresses. Um, so next Zoom meeting with these adult MKs will be on 31st August, and we will be talking about the stress in the workplace, and not only in the corporate world, but also in the mission field, if there are missionaries. So it will be interesting. So like we had these adult MKs joining us from Australia, Africa, Southeast Asia. Even some MKs joined us from USA and UK and then India. So because many of them actually, even if they are Americans or British or Africans, many of them actually have grown in Asia because their parents were missionaries. So they logged in and then we talked about it. So it was very nice to see that there's a space for them, there is a place, a platform for these adult MKs to share their issues, share what they think, because they find it or feel it that they're not able to share with their parents, they're not able to share with their Christian friends, because immediately they are judged that you are a missionary kid, so you have to be a missionary. So see, it goes on like that. So they feel that if they're going to share their personal issues with these people, with their parents or Christians and all, they will immediately judge them. So they're looking for a very safe place and a safe platform where they can just pour out their feelings. And I'm glad that as a member care, we have given this platform to these adult MKs to talk about it. Yeah. So beside that, my own member care and counseling work is going quite well. And the work pressure is sometimes quite high. So last 3 weeks, I had a very high BP. It went to 189. And I was like really sick. So my doctor, my cardio, so she actually increased the dose. So then it went down. So since now 1 week it's fluctuating, it goes very high, it comes down, it goes high. So maybe Lord want to teach me something to relax. That's what my son felt it. That mom, I think you need to relax, and just stop that computer of yours and do something else. So I said, okay. So I needed this boundary, because sometimes as a counselor, you're helping others to set the boundaries. You're helping them with the stress. with their assessments and anxieties and depression. And then you forget that you're carrying the similar issues. So said, okay, so it was good to relax. It was good to relax and get up a little bit late in the morning and all that. And in that scenario, I think I even watched movies. I said, okay, let me relax, fully relax and watch some movies. So usually I just have no time. Once in a while on Sunday, I watch or something. So it was good to relax and just do different things. So that's where I am. There are a lot of worries, financial worries, and then sometimes um, you hear comments from other Christians, oh, how you're managing and how you're doing it. Sometimes I feel, why do they ask these questions? I'm managing fine. I'm doing, I have friends. So sometimes the pressures from outside are so high that you get very worried. So that's it. But work-wise, I think I'm very satisfied, very content what I do as a member care. And at the same time, I always thought that, oh, I have a set boundaries for myself. But in these 2 weeks, I knew that I had no boundaries. So I'm learning to set boundaries and make sure that I learn more to say no for different things, rather say yes, yes, yes for everything. Yeah. So pray for that. And then, yeah, one more thing that we have a global member care coming up in Kenya. Just now I heard Emily was talking about Kenya because her daughter was there, right? Yeah. So Kenya, we're having a global member care. So I will be going that. It is in October 28th to November 1st, where I will be doing a session on women in the global mission. So I will be doing that. So pray for my role in member care, not only India, but um, global also, because that's what I'm involved in. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Now, tell us a little bit about your involvement with the two psychosocial workers in Sierra Leone with EduNations, right? Aren't you partnering with Zoom calls with Judith and Joyce?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, uh, one is going to be on 13th. There is one today where Sese is sharing about the work, but then, of course, because we have this MPC Zoom, so I think it's clashing with that. So, yeah, the main thing what we are discussing is about how to prevent the teenage pregnancy in Sierra Leone, the traumas and the grief. That's the whole social aspect. Because recently, I think a couple of girls have been raped, and so Dana and Judith felt that we should support um, teen pregnancy, against teen pregnancy with Sierra Leone girls. So Judith has formed a group of counselors. So she invited me to be part of it, and as well as Joyce, who was MPC counselor some time back, and now she has her own setup. So we are part of that, and then we discuss how to work on. And just last July, I think 23rd, 24th, 25th, they had this whole training on preventing teen pregnancy. So there are two teachers who are also a social workers. They went through that training. So they will be helping their girls in Sierra Leone, especially in the school of donation. They will be helping that. So girls will
Thanks for
learn
your
about how.
expertise in your
Yeah,
areas to help those ladies
yeah,
so that they don't burn out and learn healthy
yes,
boundaries as they're administering to so many 3,700 students. Yeah,
yes,
that's
they have.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So today's essay is sharing about the work. Yeah. So I think it's a 6:30 p.m. So that will be your night, and mine will be maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because I'm already 8:30 right now, 8:30 night.
Thank you for
So
all you're
yeah,
doing, Pramila. That's a lot.
thanks so much. Yeah.